this off. There's a cat at the window just waiting for the opportunity to knock over my tree. Well, that'd be very impressive because we are about... Well, we're on the 3rd floor here, so... There's a cat waiting outside my window. I want to know how the cat got there and how long it's been hanging around. Honestly, I wouldn't even be mad. If a cat jumped through my window and knocked over the tree, I wouldn't even be mad. I'd be impressed. It'd be a full-on pigeon story. You guys remember the pigeon story where I got attacked by a pigeon? What if a pigeon attacks me to try and take down the tree? Ay, ay, ay. Bottom right-hand side, our orange Protoss player. This is GunGFuBanDa. Up against the red Terran to the top left, it's HeroMarine. Getting this set up, getting this rolling. Cats are a step up from being attacked by a bee on stream. Yeah, well, the bee attack was on stream. The pigeon attack was off stream. The cat attack would be even better. I do actually think we might have to put up the second tree, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I think we might have to say that today is the last day we only have one tree. Because I just genuinely think we need tree number 2. Like, I just do not... There's just not space on the first tree anymore. There's just no space left on tree number 1. So, I think we have to go to tree number 2. So, if you guys don't destroy the tree today, then the tree will live, I think. Alright, well, early game harassment here as we get into our first TvP of the day. We did a pretty good job getting you guys all the different matches. We had a ZVP, a TVZ, now a TVP. It's been a nice little startup, switching up matchups and players. Again, so I actually checked up, and the plan is to cast HeroMarine versus GunGFuBanDa, followed by Harston versus HeroMarine. That is our current plan of action. And I think we're probably going to do the HeroMarine Braddock series as well. In fact, that even works better. I was just looking at my plan trying to figure it out, but it does actually make sense. Compared to what I was originally thinking. I just didn't do the math originally. Death to the tree. Thank you, Andy, for the 500 bits. Thank you so much. But you already have a decoration on the tree. You can't purchase more decorations. It's always been a rule. You only get one decoration per person. Unless I'm silly enough to forget. But I know for a fact you have one. I would say I know where it is, but that would be a complete lie. That would be absolutely, completely untrue. We're going to be dropping down to the bottom right-hand side. Chase with a Hellion to try and see what's going on here. HeroMarine into that starport with the medevac on the way out. No early Cyclone or anything like that, as HeroMarine will just go for Widow Mines. We'll see what comes in after this medevac as well to continue setting up. It will be a tech lab on the factory, but you'd imagine at this stage probably more likely to be for, well, maybe still a Cyclone in case a Oracle or Prism comes across. But a siege tank would be very safe against ground attacks. What does HeroMarine actually know? Pretty much nothing. Hasn't seen anything as of yet. So, HeroMarine not really seen anything. Makes this a little bit intriguing as we do see medevac loading up some units and starting down to the bottom right-hand side of the map. Medevac with its boost there to get in towards the main a bit faster. Reaping the Hellion might still try and pressure elsewhere at the same time to cause annoyance. He actually begins to unload just right away here, Marine. Widow Mine will come down, and that's something he can now just use to kind of gain position. Obviously, these Stalkers don't want to wander in towards the Widow Mine, right? Oh, we're going to use the probe. Oh, unburrows it and reburrows the Widow Mine. There is an Observer there, though, so can just get the kill. No, but the Observer was too far away, but then it went off on an Adept that was going to be dead anyway, so not that bad. There's a couple of Marines continue to fight, but there's not much left in this. 2 probes going down. It's the Hellion and the Reaper at the front, which are doing more damage. 3 workers now killed. Stalker very nearly goes down. The shield battery just getting some energy back at the last moment. Only 3 probe kills there. Not too much from HeroMarine. As GunGFuBanDa will lose a Stalker on the natural expansion now before these Marines go down. He'll also lose 1 more probe. But that is going to be a cleanup. And now he has Blink. Obviously, life becomes a little bit more, well, a little bit simpler. Watching the observer travel across the map. I mean, again, it was going to be that tank on the way out. He got a Raven as well, HeroMarine, so... Just makes sense. We do see the Blink Stalker's not really able to do much here just yet. Though a Bio will gather over in the corner. Tank gets sieged up and a couple of medevacs on the way out. Marauder, Marines, Stim, Combat, +1 attack. All of this on the way through at the moment. All those upgrades, which as soon as they kick in, HeroMarine will have quite a powerful push for himself with a couple of tanks and so on. Tank siege is up and the Stalker's poking forwards, blinking away a little bit here. I mean, upgrades are pretty good from GunGFuBanDa as well, with his third base up and running. He's obviously quite heavy on the gateway units for the moment. Does have the Robo and is going to put that to use now for the Robo Bay. In general, Colossus have been a pretty solid go-to for the mid-game PvT as of late, so we have been seeing a pretty reasonable amount of that. Intrigued to see if we see some more of it once again now. As Bio presses forwards, Observer just has to pull away to the left-hand side there. So I'll just be escaping to the left as we do see the Stalkers. And the Zerds starting to swipe their way through these rocks, so some damage being done. The tanks, though, going to be able to siege up on this side of the rocks, which is why you were kind of seeing GunGFuBanDa want to take them down. Because now those tanks for siege, it gives HeroMarine a lot of space to work with. Oh, look at those tanks already going big. Anti-armor missile hits everything as well. That's also big right now. As we're going to see, this Bioforce will continue to fight. The Zerds charging in. I mean, +1 attack. Armor upgrade isn't actually finished for the Protoss player, so this Protoss army is actually on so little armor. This is actually such a good fight as we're going to be seeing another anti-armor missile to refresh and to hit some extra units as well. The tanks here, I love it, targeting the Stalkers and units towards the back here rather than friendly firing. Well, one of the tanks was at least. But yeah, try and target the Stalkers and the anti-armor missile Stalkers as well. There's a bonus to that. HeroMarine kick this off right about now, so let's do this as we start off to the bottom left hand side with the Red Terran player who rocked our PvT Worlds in game number 1. Great play, and even though his early aggression didn't do so great, his follow-up attack was just absolutely deadly. Loved it, thought it was very well done, very well executed, and obviously went very well for him. HeroMarine in the bottom left hand side. GunGFuBanDa, the orange Protoss in the top right, is down a map, and he is looking to see what he can do here as we get this setup and rolling in game number 2. Can he bounce back? It's the first time we've seen him today. Of course, we've got a lot more to see from him. Tough opponent, first one out the gates in the form of HeroMarine, obviously. Bro's going to come down to the bottom side of the map. Pylon finishes up here. I'm going to be seeing GunGFuBanDa obviously opening up with a little bit of aggression to get this going. So his second gateway dropping down means that he's going to be applying a lot of pressure on the early stages. So HeroMarine, let's see how his defense goes against this. He isn't proxying racks or anything crazy. He will just be expanding. As you do have that probe from GunGFuBanDa hopping up into the main base. Command Center will drop down, and so GunGFuBanDa actually comes to chase it. Wants to keep this delayed as long as possible. The more this is delayed, and the more that this is slowed down, as this is the Baguettes once again having some issues. Resume this here, and in. Ay. Coca is a moron. Okay, we'll take it. Alright, so we do see the factory dropping down in the main base as we get this ready to roll once more. Sorry, I lost a little bit of momentum there. So Reaper is out. I mean, the thing is, HeroMarine has not yet scouted, so he doesn't know about the fact that this is a proxied gateway. So the Reaper is going to be across the map when the first Stalker walks forwards to keep on trying to delay that natural. Reaper on its way up towards the top right-hand side. The Stalker coming across as well from GunGFuBanDa, and we'll get a couple of shots going there. Zalt coming down the bottom left, and Stalker able to pick off an SCV. Is obviously going to be delaying that CC a little bit further now. Wouldn't mind initially from HeroMarine as they'll go into extra Marines at this stage, as Reaper is on the way back. Obviously no pressure onto that command center. SCVs will be forced to pull forwards here, and that's where the Stalker can start to target those down a little bit. Reactor being brought back up to health with that repair. At this point you might have to just give it up, because now 2 more Stalkers arrive. It's very important to have this reactor though, because it is part of the wall-off. 3 SCVs killed so far. GunGFuBanDa's attack going well. Now HeroMarine decides to cancel that command center and build it on the high ground instead. Wouldn't mind repaired here for a moment. It will just kill off the Zealot in the front. Might have been worth trying to somehow keep it alive for longer so we got a Stalker, just because the Zealot is not really the issue at all. Yes, it's doing damage, but the Stalkers are the ones that are reaching over this wall and getting a lot of damage done here. As you see, the reactor goes down. Now the next Widow Mine is set up. It is going to be difficult to keep on pressing forwards. Once they come up far enough so that he can, I think he can just sit here without issue. He keeps pulling back, but I don't actually think it's necessary. You can see the Widow Mine's never actually kind of locking on. Oh, it is here and there. Comes up again, going for a Marine kill. Nice little micro by GunGFuBanDa. Obviously it's difficult because every time he's doing this, he loses high ground vision, so he can't preemptively click up there. We'll now pull back as the Reaper is working his way through this pylon. On the right-hand side, as we do see Stalker coming down to the bottom of the map. And the rubber facility being thrown up with the blink on its way as well. These Stalkers set down to the south, as we do see the Reaper of HeroMarine coming up through the center, and he's going to go back to the top. I mean, all said and done here at the moment. Oh, he actually stole the gas as well. Sorry, guys. I never even noticed this. I didn't see the probe even sneak into the main base properly, so apologies for that. This simulator taking some damage over here. As on the top right-hand side, we do see the Reaper moving around as well, and is going to try and maybe drop a grenade or just get some scouting info. I mean, sees the Twilight Council, right? Sees the blink. I don't think that's too surprising considering the situation where there has been a lot of Stalkers made early game. So I don't think HeroMarine is going to be too shocked or anything by that. As the Nexus of GunGFuBanDa is up, he's Chrono boosting our probes, and well, HeroMarine's army turned into a fairly powerful one. Stim is going to be finished shortly. It is only Marines and Marauders though, with a couple of Marauder mines to support. His natural CC now at least can go down to the low ground. And without the second gas, he's not been able to go in towards anything like a starport or anything along those lines for medevacs to be able to drop around, or again, just that sort of stuff. I mean, that's what he's been maybe missing out on, because usually he might be able to counterattack as Stim finishes. Now, he might have to hang back a while. These Stalkers coming out into the center of the map, and just going to be seeing the +1 attack upgrade from GunGFuBanDa getting started on that forge. +1 going to be coming along here. Observer taken down by the Widow Mine was just in range of the missile turret for detection there, obviously. A little bit of a shame. Ooh, you guys are right in the chat. He's still researching warp gate. That's not good. The 6-minute warp gate. Aye, aye, aye. Well, I mean, I guess he'll miss a few warp-ins, which is painful, but making him more. He doesn't seem to be having a rough time kind of spending his money, right? And it will be up by the time he wants to invest further, so as long as he's spending his money here, he should be okay. I guess the biggest issue is, I guess we can say, if HeroMarine counterattacks and does a lot of damage, then maybe he does very well, as you do see a single Marine coming forwards. We're going to come around the top left-hand side. We're going to be seeing the Observer coming across the map as well, down toward the bottom left. Just going to be seeing the combat shields still on the way up here from HeroMarine. Dropship Magic, 9-month free sub. Thank you so much for having a Twitch baby with me. WardiTV, yeah baby. Yeah baby, and a Twitch baby. What more do you want? Thank you so much for the 9 months Dropship Magic and the continued support. Really do appreciate it, as we do see a couple Marauders up on the high ground. Almost grabbing a Stalker there. Not quite able to, but almost. Yeah, +1 armor being chrono boosted out of this forge as well, so that's still coming through. As you have the Zealots, the Stalkers, and a couple of sentries. They are gathering up out towards the third base. This Bio Army gathers together, starting to move towards the upper right. A couple more medevacs going to load up as well and head across there. And HeroMarine has been waiting to attack for quite a while. Hasn't really been able to make much of this. Hasn't really killed much of this game at all. It's all been about that early pressure from GunGFuBanDa. So this is the real testing point. How important was that forgotten warp gate? Widowmine's going down very quickly here, though, so not even getting a chance to burrow and to splash onto anything. That's actually really bad. All of these Widowmines getting taken down. That's actually really unfortunate, as this Bio will turn back around. Force field comes down. Zeld gets picked off. +2 attack and +2 armor now on the way here from GunGFuBanDa, so keeping this going. You see HeroMarine just continuing away to the bottom side of the map. Couple more barracks on the way up from HeroMarine as well, over in the main. GunGFu comes all the way to the bottom left, and he's going to start seeing those couple of Zealots charging forwards. Doesn't get too much done though. Liberator Siege is up. Should be able to get this liberated though with the Stalkers, and didn't stick around. Probably, I mean, overall saves the Stalker, right? But maybe could have stuck around, got a Liberator for Stalker, which isn't a bad trade at all. Feels as though he could have maybe just committed in a bit more there. But again, it's a very tough moment like this. A couple of Zealots running around, Liberator force to kind of set up, and that's why the SCVs have gone down. So nice play by GunGFuBanDa to kind of slow HeroMarine down a little bit. And you've seen the rest of these units continue to press forward. Stalker gets picked off as well. Warp Prism down the left-hand side and in towards the main base. +2 attack and +2 armor still on the way in. So those upgrades still coming through as the Zealots unloading here. A bunch more Zealots warping in as well, but the Liberator sieging kind of cancels that, then decides he might just go for it anyway. He's going to warp in Stalkers instead. That's why. That's an expensive warp in though, and the Stalkers aren't as good at kind of dealing with kind of units that come to respond to this. I guess they are going to be able to get themselves a reactor on the stop. Well, what else do they want to get rid of here though? Just more reactors and add-ons? GunGFuBanDa's having a little bit of issue though, because he did lose a bit of his army down towards that third base, with a lot of his Stalkers here in the main, and now blinking to the natural. Nice recall. Will actually get all of these out of here. Wow, good play with the recall. Now he's going to be able to come in and try and defend this, as he does have this army already down to half health here in Marine, which means he's already going to be losing units pretty quickly. +2 attack on the Stalkers as well. No armor upgrades on the bio units. They're actually taking a ton of damage, and they will get cleaned out. Stalkers should start blinking for those medevacs. The extra Marauder damage or so doesn't really matter too much. 2 of the 4 medevacs taken down, and might be able to chase for one more. Blink off cooldown. He can blink right now. I think he gets underneath it. Blink, GunGFu, blink. Gets it, and he will get that one final medevac. Really, really good job there, as GunGFu cleans up. That recall was pristine. Again, did it in a position where he was able to keep the Stalkers alive as well. Exactly what he wanted to do. Marine gets picked off. Widowmines coming down. Extra Zealots warping in, as we are going to be seeing a couple of Marines getting picked off there, right? As we see Stalkers and Zealots now poking around a little bit, and Marines dealing a little bit more damage. Go. Widowmines don't quite get a chance to go off there just yet. How's that gateway still alive? I guess HeroMarine, I mean, did he ever see it? He did see it. Yeah, it's kind of funky. He obviously unpowered it, but obviously been repowered. Or did he unpower it? It kind of feels like he must have done, right? Because to see this in the first place, I'm just trying. It is unpowered, of course it is. But yeah, I guess he was just busy elsewhere, and so he had to go and do other things other than actually killing off the gateway. Dogs from the left-hand side coming forward is going to stop that refinery coming up. Just getting another couple of SCVs. Again, GunGFu is playing a pretty solid game at the moment. I'm enjoying it. He is struggling a little bit on the work count. 57 workers each. Generally, it is meant to be a little bit of a Protoss lead on workers. He will get the 4th Nexus up nice and quick. That pylon goes down, and the gateway taking some damage as well still. That's going to be dropping in the next few moments. Meanwhile, Storm on the way from GunGFuBanDa is just over halfway done. We see that +3 armor is also continuing to come along as well. So Still getting that going as we do see some Marines loading up into that medevac, coming around the bottom side of the map. And again, with those couple of Liberators sieged up here, just set to be very safe against those Stalkers pushing back in. I do love that the Stalkers are still so active on the map though. Boom, grabs a Marine there. Just the presence on the map in general is obviously so good for GunGFuBanDa. Lets him know if our attacks are coming and stuff like that. He doesn't even waste time. He doesn't try to get fancy. Just wants to know if attacks are coming, confirm where that army is a little bit more consistently, which is obviously very solid, as we do see a few Zealots coming in with this army now. And look at this, suddenly GunGFuBanDa has been able to build up a real army. A few High Templar here, Storms available, Mortals gathering up as well, and Archon also brought into play. That's the attack being chrono boosted right now, as we do see these Marines starting to unload, and picking off a few of these probes. A few probes starting to go down, 7, 8, 9 workers dropping, 10 workers dropping, 11. It's a really nice counterattack. So this is the important part now, as the Warp Prism gets targeted down right away. The High Templar are really trailing at the back here, so the actual Storms do not come in for a very long time. Liberators now sieging up. Here come the Storms. I mean, the benefit is now there's plenty of Storms available kind of at the end of this fight. Liberators being shut down by the few Stalkers that remain. HeroMarine will type out GG, and GunGFuBanDa continue to produce this content for you all as we kick off on Port Alexander. To the top left-hand side, our red Terran player is Mouse Sports HeroMarine. Just had this discussion the other day with someone how it's so funny. I think it was Rifkin. It's so funny that HeroMarine is still on Mouse Sports as a streamer. It's just like, when do you even hear Mouse Sports in StarCraft now? You don't. It is HeroMarine. But he's been on the team for so long. And it's awesome to see that obviously they keep on supporting him. Which is it's really, really great. It's just, it feels like such a forgotten about team as well, because I think he's on the team officially as a streamer more so than a player. But obviously he went big this year and then ended up going to BlizzCon. Guys, we better start talking about... oh, no, it is just a gateway. GunGFuBanDa bottom right. Trying to play some mind games here and force. And look at that. 4 SCVs off the mineral line for the cost of a cancelled pylon. So that's some nice damage dealt there actually by GunGfu. For 25 minerals, he forces 4 SCVs not to mine for about 15 seconds or more. That's very nicely done. Alright, well, other than that, the HeroMarine setup is looking pretty regular with the Reaper on the way out. Moving towards the expansion very shortly. SCVs are going to be able to surround that probe and get the kill on it. Command Center now dropping into the natural expansion. Again, this is the second series of the day that's gone to a game 3 out of 3 series so far. You can see that factory about halfway done then, as we are going to be seeing the Reaper from HeroMarine moving around a little bit. See you later, Flubs. Thanks for dropping by and watching some StarCraft with us this evening. See you later, dude. Reaper hops up and is going to be pressing forwards. The Adept already taking a couple of shots off of that Reaper there to get this started. Shade will come down and the Reaper moving away for the moment. There's that robo facility dropping in from GunGFuBanDa, so that's going to be his tech choice here in these earlier stages. So getting that set up, Reaper continues to come forwards, and the Adept is there to turn this Reaper away. Stalking the Adept together, able to bring that Reaper very low. For HP, but it's able to get out alive, which means HeroMarine can use it again for scouting just a little bit later on. Well, there's that Robobay from GunGFuBanDa. Dropping this down once again here. Obviously never really got in towards the Robobay usage in the last game, but we saw an attempt of him playing Robobay back in game number 1. Obviously didn't really work out for him. He never really got set up in it. This is a much faster Robobay though, so a couple of different options this could be other than Colossus actually. One of the big things that this is oftentimes being when it's a fast Robobay is, as a Warp Prism comes out too, it kind of maybe backs this up, could be Gravitic Drive, Warp Prism Speed, and Disruptors, and go for a bit of a Disruptor drop opening to harass and to take some control of the map. So For this faster Robo Bay, I would pretty much always say that's what it's going to be, unless it's just really fast Colossus, which is just not really seen at all. So there you go, Disruptor, Gravitic Drive, and this Disruptor going to be jumping into that prism and zooming across the map to deal some damage here in the near future. On the other side of things, though, HeroMarine with a bit of a switch up himself, going for a Cloak Banshee for the first time this series. Medevac comes into the main, and the Widowmine will begin to burrow. Hellion with a nice shot off onto a few probes there to help out. Stalkers in some trouble as well, still taking some damage. Hellion gets lifted, dropped back down, and again, just continue to push those Stalkers around a little bit here as Marines continue to be microed. Wow, some very good control, actually. Very good control. Disruptor comes in as well. Already haven't been used is really nice there for HeroMarine too, so that's nice. And he gets into the main base where he'll find a couple more probes. Man, HeroMarine's having a really good time. Sends a Reaper back to the low ground to harass some workers as well while this Medevac goes to the corner. Might just, the shield battery was there. We'll still get one more worker kill though. Nice play by HeroMarine. Really is all over the place with that. Let's see what the War Prism does. It was only one Disruptor made. No further usage of the Robo facility just yet. Did Bly cheese HeroMarine? Bly played a really good macro game in game number 1. Game number 2 wasn't all in, but game number 1 was a really sick game. Honestly, if you didn't see it, I would suggest you go and watch it. It was a really sick game. It's 7 SCVs go down. I mean, HeroMarine obviously just excited about the fact that he comes in and starts getting damaged on the other side of the map, but 7 SCVs, it's something to start making up for the fact that this Banshee shows up right now. Observer's on its way. Isn't ready just yet, though. Being chrono boosted, this is up to 14 kills, 15. And GunGFuBanDa just falling apart a little bit now. Starting to take maybe a bit too much damage. No blink to chase that Banshee down. It goes into the natural. Could get more probes. Will get more probes. The Disruptor comes back in for 5 more SCVs. Just as we're not watching there. But again, that's what, 12 workers to 18. Definitely looking to favor HeroMarine right now as his Banshee goes down. The next Banshee, though, is already just sat waiting to come in and to do something about this. HeroMarine taking a 6 worker lead with the mules on his side as well. Remember, HeroMarine will be looking very, very good here to get going. Ooh, nice shot though, and again, nice little job so far. Is this some new meta? Asks Darkside. Honestly, the Disruptor drop was something that was always a thing, and I imagine just with the Disruptor being kind of brought back to its old self, it's kind of regained popularity. It wasn't really as good with the other Disruptor because it would just blow up when it hit the first SCV, so you would never get like 5+ SCVs. It would only ever be 1 or 2 unless they kind of clumped up. So now it's actually a little bit more viable again. The Disruptor in general is more viable again, I feel, and a little bit more useful. So yeah, it's yeah, I would say it's just kind of a feature of the Disruptor being updated in the most recent patch more than anything else. HeroMarine grabs himself another 4 workers. The Banshee flies through and will hide into the corner safely. Still halfway done here. To make life of HeroMarine a bit easier, we'll load up, they'll go across the map. Group of fire yet to see what they can do. Just opposite this prism still hanging out as well, and we'll maybe want to try and jump back in here. We'll go back in toward the main base. Has that Disruptor ready to go? I mean, SCV is starting to pull away. Again, only 2 more kills, but you're killing 2 SCVs every few, every 15-20 seconds. It's pretty valuable. 2 Colossus here waiting for this drop as well, so HeroMarine unable to find anything. Obviously, the one big thing is GunGFuBanDa is very late to take a 3rd base. Very, very late to take a 3rd base. I mean, that kind of makes sense if you go 2 base Colossus. And as across the map, we do see Disruptor picking up another couple workers. Alright, gonna hide away to the corners. We do see those Stalkers will come in here. Still no blink, right? So still unable to kind of jump on top of Medevacs or anything, which is a little bit of a shame. Of course, I mean, he is going to get charged, which is quite nice as well. I imagine this would be followed up by blink, because with the Colossus on the map especially, it's very likely we see Vikings or some sort of anti-air unit, so blink just goes such a long way into the mid to later stages. So it makes sense to see that coming in post-Salad charge. Disruptor is now pulling away. Again, these disruptor shots, man, are just absolutely disgusting. They just find units after units after units, just never stopping, never ending, it feels. The damage output, almost consistent, which is crazy for a unit like the disruptor and how it's meant to work. I don't think there's been a single disruptor shot so far that's just missed completely or not hit anything. So turret there to push the the warp prism away though, so that is one way to deflect it. Have those missile turrets up in position, deflecting. Skynet coming down as HeroMarine will move out through the top side of the map. A couple of Liberators will get sieged up. Why not just get a Viking or two? Yeah, obviously, I mean, a Viking or two would help push the Liberator back, but it wouldn't actually, very unlikely to get the kill. I guess pushing it back, though, is always, again, kind of part of the reason that you would make one or two. I kind of agree, actually, like, it would make sense. Maybe just got other reasons on his mind. Disruptor. That is a shame, because that warp prism was actually going to get out alive. It even turned around to try and resave the Disruptor, and still survived. But, doesn't quite happen, as we're going to be seeing HeroMarine. 157 supply. A little bit of supply block. After all of this damage, it really is a shame that Disruptor went down. 24 SCVs. A lot of these Marine and Marauder kills were from the Disruptor too. That Disruptor did huge damage. Again, just a shame he unloaded it a bit too early there. Prism still alive though, could be annoying if HeroMarine decides that he wants to move across the map here. A lot of these bio units underneath the medevacs, the Liberators, chilling out up in the sky. The Disruptor had like 20 kills. Yeah, it had at least 20 kills. I was actually trying to check it, and I kept forgetting every time it drops down. But, yeah, I didn't get to see exactly. We'll do a quick rewind after the game and see how many kills the Disruptor had when it fell. Only 59 probes here, but he is, I guess, fully saturated because his main base, because it is such a late third base, he is kind of fully saturated still, so it doesn't need more probes until he goes up to a fourth. Dark Shrine will drop in the back of the mini mix for Disruptor. He's actually got a couple, so it is pretty common for Protoss players once they kind of have Colossus up to switch into Disruptors. It's a way to kind of vary the amount of splash damage and what your splash damage is in your army without having to go into a whole new tech tree, because you can just make a couple Disruptors off that Robo facility after you've got Colossus out. So it's quite a nice little kind of 1-2. Made Robo play from Protoss players a lot stronger when the Disruptor first came around in Legacy of the Void. After a meta for a while, which was very reliant on no Colossus and just going in towards storms and stuff instead. So it's pretty cool. I mean, the Protoss' issue was always that try and transition from Colossus to Storm was kind of when the Terrans would catch them off guard. Now the couple of Disruptors kind of make it so you can push the Terran back a bit, and again, it's just a different form of splash damage, so you still have something, even if there's a ton of Vikings flying in and targeting your Colossus down. For SCVs going down here with the Zealot warping into the main, that warp is still making use for itself. We'll grab one more SCV. Got a few Marines as well, so not a bad startup as the Prism gets ready to move away. So many Liberators here, by the way. I'm a little bit worried about the lack of Stalkers. The blink is there. And again, there's just a real lack of Stalkers to actually target down those Liberators at all. I'm not sure what he's going to do about them. Only 2 Archons, and well, now warping in more Stalkers, realizing he needs to do something about this. HeroMarine's just going to use these Liberators to slowly bully his way into the position he wants to be in here. Lib sieging up. They have advanced ballistics. And now suddenly HeroMarine is in the natural expansion of GunGFuBanDa, and GunGFuBanDa can't actually do anything about it. This Nexus is going to go down almost instantly. The Liberator is coming over as well. Well, now he goes into the main base, and he just sieges up the Liberators from a distance, and there is just absolutely no answer. Arguably, maybe GunGFuBanDa could have had time to go in towards Tempest, because it has been a long time coming, this attack from HeroMarine. He didn't really apply any pressure. Prism gets some SCVs across the map, but now our Protoss is losing pretty much the entire of his production line. And again, just cannot find a way to fight in because of those Libs. Goes across the map instead, is going to try and base trade it, but I mean, the famous words are never base trade a Terran. Let's see if that works out in truth for HeroMarine here today, as I think GunGFuBanDa will be a bit hard pressed to make something happen with this. Just going to be seeing the BT Post taking some damage, as we do see HeroMarine will go across all of the bases. He'll try and buy as much time as he can already. A Liberator sieging up to try and, well, I mean, deter the Protoss army from moving forwards. It will still move forwards, don't get me wrong. Marauder's there as well, though. I mean, that Liberator's already putting out decent damage. Recalls home with some of his army here to try and protect that base. The Liberators are, well, all the way back home, actually. So the Liberator's out of position. Maybe that's his plan here. If the Liberator's out of position, he can get something done. Disruptor hit is really good. Disruptor hit gets a lot done there. The Liberators are across the map to siege up and kill that Colossus, though. Whatever was left from that recall is now absolutely 100% dead. As jumping on the Colossus here means the splash damage is gone. HeroMarine will take game 3 and the series.